Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, very unfortunate news that a police officer was killed in Tasmania yesterday, I think it was. Apparently, taking some repossession papers to someone and was shot. Now, this has nothing to do with that particular individual, but I guess this is a message to all, especially new. This guy had been there for a while, but it's hard to ignore the fact that we're completely bombarded by imported police officers at the moment, who believe that they're here to do the work that's put on their table. And that work is going to be this. It's going to be going to places where you're potentially going to get shot to submit paperwork after the largest government hijacking in history. So you're armed mercenaries in a foreign land who are going to be shot at. I'm not saying that because I'm going to shoot at you. I would have no reason to shoot at you because I don't have any debts that aren't able to be paid. Now, my stance is always on responsible stewardship of finances, but I will say that in my business activities I encountered a system that was rigged. So if those debts include foreign accounts like PayPal that shut down my account because I was critical of the vaccine, digital finance, any of these things, they should be treated very differently to land at the moment, because they're existing in this digital framework, which I'm in the process of making that whole system explain exactly what the hell it thinks it's doing. So if you're using anything digital, anything to do with phones, anything to do with the internet, and you're trying to take someone's land, in my opinion, which is, just one person's opinion, I would say those people are well within their rights to shoot you. I'd say as far as the Australian Constitution goes, as far as land holdership, and I think we've been invaded by a digital network of espionage and of distraction and of these things. There's been no warnings for the devices, just the warnings recently about what people are doing on them. We've skipped a whole section of regulation in this country because we were all trusting of this system. And now I'll never enter this system again. So if someone tries to take my property, I'm going to shoot them. Especially if there's been a failure to acknowledge me on a digital platform every day for 3 years. This is a conversation that has to be had. And once again, I'll also just remind everyone here, so that it's firmly in evidence, that all the payments that I would be expected to pay, most of them have been fraudulently expanded in this autonomous voluntary exposure of massive gross negligence across vast areas of government and of technological advancement. So yeah, if you think you're some type of matrix police officer and you're going to start taking land, you're going to get shot at. Yeah, you're probably not just going to get shot at when you're there. You're probably going to get fucking photos taken of you, and you're probably going to go on a list, and you're probably going to get shot at wherever the fuck you end up. That's not worth whatever they're paying you. How could that be worth it? This is war. In one way or another. The problem is trying to figure out where the war is. If people that are holding land who have weathered this storm imposed upon them are now having their land taken off them by people that don't own land, then yeah, a lot of people are going to start getting shot at. If you're driving around in a fucking flashy car with fucking big uniform on, you're a fucking target. Have they explained that to you? If I can go into a shop and buy a vape, which is illegal, and you're taking someone's land, something's gone really fucking wrong. If I can go and find drugs on the street, if I can go and find a prostitute, if I can go and illegally gamble, and you're taking someone's land in this environment when there is direct criticism of about 10 years worth of entrapment by these digital devices, yeah, you're in the wrong. You're dealing with people that pioneered this land. If you go and fucking try and get the house, chances are they've booby-trapped the fucking place and you're going to get blown to fucking kingdom come. It's a failed strategy because we're dealing with a failed financial system which is unpoliceable. You can't police it because the whole thing, we need to find a point where it went wrong. I'd say it went wrong when we all started using those smartphones that Apple released. Not immediately. It wasn't immediately obvious, but it changed the trajectory of the world to where we are now. That was a mistake. So in order to adjudicate all the financial, all the political, all the legal, we need to go to that, and that is my claim. And I'm allowed to make that claim because I'm an observant participant of that phenomenon. We've had this happen in lots of other things. Asbestos is a great example. You're not allowed to build an asbestos house right now if you fucking dispose of asbestos. There's all these types of regulations. The Apple iPhone, in my opinion, is asbestos. Now, in some cases, these people are have really stuffed up their shit, and they're probably going to have their property taken. There's a vast amount of cases. I'm just making this statement because if that's mine, while I'm in the process of doing this, and my debts are easily paid, then there's going to be a serious fucking problem. Because I've taken time. I've had my business destroyed by this fictitious financial fucking monopoly. Casino fucking Royale. I've had my children taken, and now I'm sitting here fucking trying to have dialogue about something that I have very intimate knowledge about, and a lot of politicians don't. And you're failing to adequately have that discussion. That is an amplification of hostile feelings. Instead of having the conversation with a clearly educated person in this field, you're just ploughing on as normal, hiring thousands and thousands of police officers to drive around our streets with guns. A government that was actually concerned for its citizens. A lot of these individuals that might be having their places repossessed, obviously they're a crack shot. And we're in the middle of a war, or a potential war, potential invasion. Perhaps we're already 10 years into the invasion. So why aren't these individuals being utilised? Hey, listen, mate, we know you've got behind on your property. That's why we've got this property, we've got this development here, which will suit all your needs. You can live your life here and do this, and in exchange for your defence services, we'll provide you with this payment. No, you bring foreign police in to steal their property. This system is not in the best interests of Australia. It's in the best interests of some type of financial institutions, and not even the tippity-top of financial institutions, because the tippity-top of financial institutions holds that land. So these are seagulls. These are seagulls that have attempted to build a fucking circus tent around us and then fucking wave shiny things and distract all our politicians, distract all our teachers, distract all our scientists, distract everybody. Put masks on and then nick the fucking property. Hang on a second. We've been in this constant state of disorder now for 5 years. These are the hard facts. In any time in history, this would be true. Since the moment I crossed a border, I've been in a war. It's just the worrying thing is I continuously end up exposing the real villains in this war, the real enemy, as my very own government. And I'm holding claim to this land for my king. The clear fact that I was put in prison for 2 weeks and then a suspended sentence for 9 months, that's a fucking big portion of my life. Because I shared a photograph and was attempting to have this discussion about the long-term well-being of my children. I'm doing no different than what the government's doing when it's criticising social media and these different things and banning children from the internet. Facebook, social media, it's not nice, but that's because humans are not nice. And it's allowing them to. So instead of encouraging appropriate behaviour, instead of setting etiquette and things like that, social norms, accepted whatever, like we did in every other fucking environment in human history, you've attempted to ban it, which just stratifies it out, which keeps the children in the secret little Snapchat fucking cesspit and the TikTok cesspit and leaves all the adults to fucking not adapt. Children always push the limit. They push language, they push social norms, they push things like that. They push in, I did this myself on these fucking platforms. It's the phones. It's not the fucking networks. The networks are skewed negatively because of the phones, because of the size of the phones. If you're a child and you're on a phone, you have a very different relationship with your computer and with the whole internet than a person who's making a living, doing a really serious job, regulating things, researching, studying, whatever they're doing as an adult. Their relationship with the internet has grown to a healthy one. So they will reflect that into their social network like that. If you're a child that's been given a small little supercomputer with a secret disappearing app that tells them exactly where all their friends are, think about that for a second. Think about that from a national security standpoint for a second. We have an app that clearly has every single child in the country, and it tells you exactly where they fucking are. And you're saying that's security. That's the war that we're having. And this is directly to my children's mother. That's the war we're having, Julie? And Brad? We're having a war between, you've put a fucking tracking collar on all of my fucking children in a disappearing fucking bullshit thing where no one knows what's even going on there, and you're saying that me doing this is violence enough to put me in prison? I'd say you need to show up to this environment, one or either of you or both of you, at the same time, and explain that. Not just to me, not just to my children, not just to the state government, but to the entire fucking world. Why you think that is this grounds you want to start a civil war on over a fucking app. And I'd say once we have that discussion, once we settle on an agreement, whether it is Apple and Snapchat paradigm given to children, off, there you go, take that, go and have your vapes, go on fucking the internet and fucking make money by selling your fucking images to Russians or whatever the fuck you're doing, or that's the paradigm at gunpoint that the police of Western Australia are fucking supporting while they steal people's houses, yeah, I'd say we've got a fucking civil war right fucking there. I'd say instead of just having a fucking national thing when one police officer gets shot, we should have a national news thing when every single person, hard-working individual citizen of this country is having their property stolen after a digital fucking coup. I'd say we have the conversation out in plain sight between America, China and Australia, and we say, listen, you're not threatening us with this fucking bullshit. You're going to sell us the reason why we should be allied with you by walking back your invasive strategies that we can clearly see. How do we go forward here? How about we get every fucking American citizen in the country, we get every Chinese citizen in the country, and we lock them in a fucking prison right now? And we don't fucking let them out until the CEO of fucking Snapchat, the CEO of Apple, and the CEO of fucking Facebook and Google sit there and explain what the fuck's going on. And every hour that they don't, Chinese citizen, American citizen gets fucking put down. You think you're going to come in here and fucking walk the fuck in here with your phones and steal fucking property from Australian citizens? You've got another fucking thing coming. Now, we've all been made to feel bad for the fact that there was a so-called genocide here to take this land. Well, there's about to be a fucking another genocide here if these questions and these fucking accusations don't start getting responded to immediately. You want to walk the fuck away from our Prime Minister? How about you get the fuck back there and you fucking answer some questions, Donald Trump? I don't particularly like the Australian Labor Party, but at least they've got that word in it. Australia. You snub our fucking Prime Minister again, we'll make every single fucking Apple phone in this country illegal, and we'll fucking get your CEO from Apple and put him here for fucking crimes against humanity for the last fucking 10 years of invasionary tactics. You think you're dealing with the Middle East as fucking savage? We're the savage, most fucking hideous fucking people on earth, and we're fucking still loyal to our fucking king. You think that you're fucking heroes because you wandered off on your own? Well, look what you fucking did. Look what that leads to in the global fucking sphere. How many Americans can we fucking round up in the next fucking hour? I'd say quite a few if we turn those police officers wandering around arresting fathers and kicking people off the land. I'd say if you went and found Yanks, you're on a Yank finding mission. Go. Find every single one of them. Every single adult with Snapchat on their phone. We can do ice raids too. You gotta stop fucking playing like you're the fucking biggest dog in the fucking field, mate, because you're surrounded. Can see it. Everyone in the world. Oh, the United States, yeah, they're surrounded. They've got Mexico down the bottom, they've got Canada up the top, they've got Russia fucking sneaking backwards. Russia's gonna disappear. You spoke this morning about having a G8, now we've got a G7. How about we have a G6 for a moment while we all discuss how Apple fucked the world up? How the United States led the charge in these backwards, shrunken down world. how the United States leads the world in private prisons, in pharmaceutical distribution, and all these things that continuously are plugged into our system, parasitically draining our citizens of their wealth. While your fly-by-night financial institutions expect to privately acquire our police force in order to dispossess people off their land. I'm on your side, Mr. Trump. But not totally. I'm not an American citizen. These are the conversations we're going to be having. This is the paradigm of and you know it because you build buildings. The intricacies of the ownership, all these things, that all needs to be discussed, but I've not yet heard enough fucking outrage at the fact that they shrunk the fucking world down in that phone. Everyone knows the trajectory went down. Paris Hilton fucking held her little flip phone. That was the joke. Phones were getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Then we had the iPhone, which now is actually quite small. Then we went to there. And then shipping became too much of a fucking nightmare, and Apple decided to maximise its profit by keeping the fucking things small. How is a network like Instagram or Facebook supposed to work in that paradigm of this, where people are holding people commodified in their hands? People. They weren't put up in ships and chains and taken to places. They were just digitalised. Their entire life, future life, taken by a phone and put onto countless phones and commoditised and bought and sold as if it was fucking grapes. You commoditise slavery. You put an acceptable veneer on it, because it came in a really nice fucking box. And of course it's Apple. How much PR was spent on Apple? Yeah, Apple's the best. Apple's like this holier-than-thou fucking thing. Bullshit. Without those phones, we would have had appropriate technologies by now. Without those phones, we would have adapted civilizational tools, not individualistic cells. It's not just Apple, it's everyone who built the phones, but Apple spent billions of dollars in keeping us in that fucking cage. There is a way forward. And by the time I'm finished, you will see that there is just one singular door that we're all going to fucking walk through by the end of this. And we're all going to collectively decide and agree upon the fact that the phones are too small and it fucked the world up. Natural disaster. And Apple's going to die. And from its death, two Apples are going to fucking emerge. One as the phones, and one as the paradigm for the larger thing. And I'm going to take the half of the larger thing. And the Apple company as it is now can keep the small devices. We're going to have them. We're going to need small devices. But no way in hell am I letting a company that has pushed that far into hell to also claim ownership over this. So as far as the shareholders are concerned, if you own Apple, because you weren't a part of this, you were sold bullshit. So your shares are going to do well. It's just that the company direction is going to be split in half, and not one person from that small half is going to be present in the big half. And that big half isn't being taken by me. It will be managed by me for a year, and it will become ownership of the United Kingdom under the stewardship of the Crown, not of the United Kingdom government. The actual United Kingdom. We will have a census globally where everybody can claim their heritage towards, or their loyalty towards the United Kingdom in that moment. Then we see that kingdom for the first fucking time. That puts a lot of weight on Charles's shoulders, because if something goes wrong in this paradigm, we will all get around and we'll kill him. Or we'll kill his son, or we'll kill his grandson. That's a horrific thing to say, but that's what loyalty towards a kingdom actually looks like. That's the duty that those people have and put on their shoulders every day when they walk out into the spotlight. Far different than this in-out republic that has so clearly failed the entire globe here. America is a wonderful place. It's filled with wonderful people, because most of them came from the United Kingdom. It was established by the United Kingdom. It's getting really hard to squeeze out some type of positive tilt on this Republican experiment. Because when you apply corporate studies, corporate theory on top of that republic, it's a dream. There couldn't be a better paradigm than that. You just go left, you go right. You never need to tell anyone the full truth, because you just left, right, left, right. Oh, the Dems have got us here, the Republicans have got us here, and we just keep building a prison world. Prison planet. On Apple devices. Little shrunken down world where we can sell fucking teenage girls as if they're Pokemon cards, and then blame China for it, despite the fact that China is basically slave labouring these fucking things. I'd say China's got a pretty fucking good hand here. China's not perfect, but they weren't enslaved to make prisons. But it seems like everyone else was. Every other country on earth has been enslaved, or attempted to be enslaved, by the United States on Apple devices in their Apple paradigm of commoditised human beings. Slavery again. What the fuck would Lincoln say? He'd probably just punch fucking Tim Cook right in the fucking mouth. If not far worse. He'd drag him by the fucking hair into the White House and hold his bloody face in front of a fucking camera and say, "Don't worry, we've got it under control," like that, as they just knock his fucking teeth out. I told you that half of this Apple company is going to be held by the United Kingdom. Do you think any different is going to happen to the king if he makes the same mistakes in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90... 100, 200, 300, 400 years of appropriate development of our technology and our social systems? Yeah, the same thing will happen, but with all that responsibility comes responsibility. When all the responsibility is deferred and hidden, then nobody takes responsibility. Anyway, this is a millipede, Portuguese millipede. These, like, what's his name? Marco Polo. He was Portuguese, wasn't he? Now they were imported, or they were brought here by mistake, and we had this thing where there was way too many of them, and now they seem to have naturalised, because you don't really see way too many of them, like Apple phones. You just see them every now and then. And I'm sure, because I have faith in God, that they're doing something positive towards this place, now that they've balanced into equilibrium with it. So yeah, I'll leave him there. I wouldn't kill it, because it probably does far more for the world than I do, even despite all of this. So you can see that I haven't killed anyone here. Not one person's needed to be killed. I just needed to visually and viscerally describe these things, hopefully, in order to get the picture across to what's actually happening. So again, I'll remind everyone, I'm a big fan of Donald Trump. This is a big deal. With a big deal comes the best deal maker in the world. And hopefully, with his blessing, I could maybe say that maybe I'm the second best deal maker in the world. Because if the United States of America can survive a fuck up this big, then you have to say, yeah, you'd have to have two of the best deal makers in the world. And again, I'm not even American. Why would I protect America? Because there's millions and millions and millions of wonderful British subjects that have been enslaved there. And so Liberation Day, you had it a bit early, you're a bit premature on the old Liberation Day. I'd say today is Liberation Day. In politics, there's always the left and the right. And the reason they have that is because if you've left, then the person who stayed was right. Have a good day.